Alcohol Committee makes the following recommendation. 1, that the sum of 30,000 naira be approved as the new minimum national wage as contained in clause 3.1 of the bill. That the fine for not keeping records of employees should not exceed 75,000 naira. Then the federal government should put in place procedure that will lead to a review of the revenue sharing formula to enhance states' capability towards implementation of the national minimum wage. The Minister of Finance and Budget and National Planning should, as a matter of urgency, compute and forward to the National Assembly for inclusion in the 2019 budget the actual amount required for the new national minimum wage.
Just like the senior leader pointed out, when you are happy, do what you are expected to do so that your employer will also be happy. And when both sides are happy, then society will be a better place to live in. And that is very, very significant. And looking forward, I want to say that, unfortunately, it is very embarrassing to know today that even the minimum wage that we are using today, some state governments are not applying it stricto sensu. This is very, very unfortunate. When this bill is eventually passed, I want to say everybody looks forward to all governments, local government, state government, federal government, applying what the law is regulating. And this is very, very significant. So I want to implore everybody to pass this bill expeditiously. And from the mood of the Senate, it is very clear that everybody is with the workers.
And I think 30,000 that is being recommended in this bill is very adequate, and every state can pay. This story where they keep saying that some states are not in a position to pay minimum wage, every time I had opportunity to speak, I said that is not true. Judging from what we saw in about 2 or 3 weeks of election in Nigeria, shows clearly that the money available to state governments is enormous. Because we saw them buying votes in such a manner that does not show that they are poor people. And if they have that much money to buy their election, they should have money to pay workers. There is enough money, if it is managed properly, for 30,000 to be paid to each worker when they give service to this nation. I'm in full support of this report, and I also like to say that the federal government's own part of this report must also be implemented. The issue of revenue formula, which has remained unamended over a long period of time, without seeing the realities and the problems that exist within the economic structure, must be looked at. And that clause referring to it has to be handled, and a new revenue formula looked at very quickly so that we can streamline the business of revenue sharing. With this remark, I support this bill, and I urge that we pass it as quickly as we can.
Really appreciated how, to whom much is given, much is expected. We want to see the service performing optimally. And for government, I believe that we don't have to wait until when we are threatened with actions or strikes by the civil servants before we take the right steps. So it is on both sides that issues must be treated properly. On our side, as a government, we don't have to wait for a threatening strike, but on the side of the Nigerian workers, they must show that this government, or indeed any government, is paying them, and they are paying the Nigerian government, not, in fact, servicing the Nigerian people appropriately. With this very brief remarks, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I believe that 2019 going forward is going to witness stability in our civil service and productivity in the actions of our civil servants. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, we're just doing what we should do because there is no government that can wait and watch the workers wallow in abject poverty. What we have done, like we said before, is just to give them a living wage, and that is the minimum we can do. However, Mr. President, my own issue is that of 8.03. It says, one of the recommendations, that the federal government should put in place procedure that will lead to a review of the revenue sharing formula to enhance states' capabilities towards implementation of the national minimum wage. That is the key there. Because without that, states will not be able to pay. And it is not worth it if we make this constitutional amendment only for states not to be able to pay. The government needs to take this seriously and do something about it immediately. Let me also salute the courage of the workers because they were resilient and they stood by it. Thank you.
The report of the Audit Committee on the National Minimum Wage, on the National Minimum Wage Act, Cap N61 LFN, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2019, and approval as follows. Clauses 1 to 17 as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Short title as recommended. Long title as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? A bill for an act to repeal the National Minimum Wage Act, number 6, 1981, as amended, Cap 61 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Minimum Wage Act 2019 to prescribe a national minimum wage for worker and for related matters 2019 is read a third time and passed. Let me join our colleagues in appreciating and commend the efforts of our committee, but more importantly, to commend the patience of Nigerian workers over the number of years, and in particular the leadership of the union who, for a number of years, had been on this and carried out their effort responsibly. Let me particularly commend the leaders of the organizations of the union. Let me also, as said, our government, we should ensure that times like this, we should not wait for when there are strikes to do what is truly deserving to our workers. And we hope with this, our workers too will double their efforts, increase productivity, and as such, general productivity of the country also would improve. So I congratulate you all, and I hope that immediately this implementation will start.